Welcome once again. This is episode one of Lejjnd Unlimited, the podcast. Today's discussions we will have between myself. Hi, I'm Lindsey.
I'm Joe.
Today's discussions, the DCEU, the MCU going forward from Magnificent Point, episode 9 of Star Wars, and to the Mandalorian. Four interesting topics, I think, catch a lot of interest. A lot of interest. What's catching me right now for DC is the newest movie. I think it's out right there is the Joker.
The Joker. The Joaquin Phoenix one, right?
Yes, definitely. I have been hearing various mixed reviews.
I've heard it back and forth as well. I have not gone to see it yet. Just haven't had the time. But I really don't know where to go from there because I loved Heath Ledger, of course, just like everybody did in Dark Knight.
Yes, I agree with that.
And then we had what's his name? Jared Leto play the Joker in Suicide Squad, first one,
Interesting.
which
I
didn't care much for him. Not at all. Wasn't my cup of tea. I think he did okay, but it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. But now we got Joaquin Phoenix, and these are just the cinema. We have, if you watch the show Gotham at all, you have, I can't think of the actor's name right now, but he plays Joker in there, and I thought he was pretty good. He did pretty well on the show. I haven't caught the final season. I've got so much crap to catch up on right now. It's not even funny.
I can't say much better. I've watched none of it.
But I think he did a pretty good job. And of course, my definitive Joker will always be my Joker because I grew up watching the animated series. Is always going to be Mark Hamill's Joker.
Very much, very much. Mark Hamill. Actually, that's something I've actually heard recently. Is people talk about why not bring him in to do it, but it all comes down to that staging point of.
Well, they're going with a lot. Yeah, exactly. They're going with a lot younger people. They just cast Rob Pattinson as the new Batman for the new, the Batman movie.
Yeah.
And that's the guy from Twilight. And I know he's been in a lot of other stuff, apparently, a lot of things I've read about him, but
mostly
I've not seen it. I know him from Twilight. Now, I do know he's got a movie coming out with Willem Dafoe, where it's just the two of them in a lighthouse. I think it's called The Lighthouse or The Rock or something like that.
Actually,
probably should have been a little more prepared for that. But anyway, that actually looks pretty good. He looks pretty good in that. But
the only things I know else of him is mostly kind of love romantic dramas, such as that.
Yeah.
Him playing Batman?
I know a lot of people are hating on him, and I don't blame a lot of people. I mean, you got a lot of people again know him from the Twilight movies, as the sparkly vampire. So I don't blame people flipping out, but I mean, a lot of people flipped out about Ben Affleck being Batman, and I thought Affleck did a good job as Batman, and I don't think Robert Pattinson's going to do worse than George Clooney. So,
well, when I think
I'm going to really reserve judgment on that one till I see it.
I think for myself, thinking of Batman roles have been played. Michael Keaton, I think, done a good job.
Yeah. And I mean, look at that. When that came out, he got a lot of scrutiny too. Everybody was like, Mr. Mom's going to be Batman,
Oh, gosh.
So,
I forgot about that.
Until we see him, I will reserve judgment, but
definitely better than Clooney.
Yeah, he can't be worse, man. That was horrible. Bat nipples and the bat card and all that BS. But back to Joker, I like Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's a good actor and everything. So
Yeah.
I think he probably does a great job. But again, everything I've heard is it is not necessarily a comic book movie. It
What
is a movie, like a dramatic thriller type movie with a comic book character.
what I've heard is there is some comic book elements in it, but it's a piece of this, a little piece of that. It's not very
Well, it's
cohesive.
just like Easter eggs. Like all the movies give Easter eggs back to the
Well,
original source materials and everything.
which I'm actually listening to a owner of a comic book store give his thoughts and opinions about it. He described it such as that. A little piece of like this series of Batman, Dark Knight. It just didn't sound very cohesive.
Well,
Me,
they've also said with it, it is a standalone film. It is not
yeah,
technically connected to the
to
rest of the DCEU. Although all over the internet, I have seen theories and everything saying, "Oh, well, this means it's connected to this." Like with that too, especially with the way Warner Brothers and DC's doing everything and changing everything around with their movies right now. I don't think any of that's really solid
I think
until they come out and announce it. You know what I mean?
I think when I first saw the preview for it, actually I was kind of not say excited, but I liked the thought of it. I really did. I think Joaquin has that interesting bit as an actor to draw out the manic, crazy
Mm-hmm.
side. I have no qualm with that of any sort. How it's written is a totally different point, and a lot of DC writing doesn't catch me very well.
Yeah, and remember though, we haven't seen it yet, so
So,
the only way we're really going to judge is to see it.
yeah,
So
and I'm up for seeing it. I really am.
yeah, we'll have to definitely look up checking that one out,
I
reviewing it and everything.
I feel definitely. I like to watch it. Be the only way to answer the question. So like it, hate it.
On the lines with everything else with the DCEU, like we'll speculate eventually on all this stuff, but until it's close to release time for like the new Batman movie, and we actually have Aquaman 2 and Wonder Woman 1984 is closer.
Unfamiliar.
We're not going to. I don't know, man. They got so much stuff they're trying to redo over there, and they just got J.J. Abrams signed on with them for like $500 million or something
Wow.
like that. I believe
That's that's big.
to work exclusively for Warner Brothers, and a lot of people believe, oh, he's going to go in and fix up the DCEU and all this, and then you got James Gunn working on Suicide Squad 2. They got Birds of Prey coming out at some point.
Hmm. Actually, as a quick point, since we're speaking of DC Universe, did you happen to catch the first episode of Batwoman?
No, not yet.
I found it. I watched it.
I will have to watch it. I've seen a lot of friggin' hate out there for
Uh,
everything.
I think some of the characters don't quite fit well to me, but they'll grow and we'll see how it works intertwined. The actress that's playing Batwoman, I think once she develops a bit more into the character, I think I may actually enjoy watching it. It's got several different twists I didn't expect, and it's definitely worth watching. Whether you like or dislike, that's
Yeah, I'll have to check that. I gotta check out the Crisis on Infinite Earths coming from the other CW shows here soon,
oh yeah.
where it's gonna connect everything, and we'll get into that whole thing on a whole
God,
nother
I've been keeping
episode
up
and
with the
stuff.
Flash bit of it. That's
Ooh, yeah. So I gotta
yeah.
catch up on all that. But next, let's talk about the MCU. Now, we both went and seen Endgame together the night Thursday night when it opened. Like that movie was
Loved it.
amazing. I've gone and seen Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home for sure. Have you seen it? No,
No,
okay,
I
so
haven't.
that does set up some more stuff, and then we had all this like fighting back and forth between Sony and Disney, and
Oh gosh, what
that whole
was
chaos left everybody just panicked for like I don't even know how long it was, 6 weeks or something, maybe 4.
maybe 3 or 4. It
Yeah,
was definitely
and everybody, and then they cut the deal, so Spider-Man is supposed to have a third movie to kind of finish up his trilogy in the MCU. There's a lot of talk that he's gonna be in Morbius, that Sony's gonna be coming out with. He's gonna be in Venom 2. They're saying, they're talking
is
about doing
is the Venom to a Sony alone?
I I believe so. There's a lot of rumors and stuff I keep seeing out there saying like, oh well, no, there's evidence like Venom's gonna be in the MCU, and they're like, it may. I mean, it could happen. Like, look what happened with this. They broke up, they came back together, and apparently it was like Tom Holland who really sat down with both studios, like, come on, please, please
Oh,
do this
okay,
for
but
the fans. We have to do this, and so he's gonna stick to the role either way for
yeah,
Sony and for Disney.
but if you could get them pulled together,
Just completely stay together. And I know I watched a video and somebody talking about it, and the guy brought up a great point about it. Watch everything Spider-Man,
uh,
whether it's MCU or Sony, from whatever they come out with, so that way everybody, both sides, just like, yeah, they're loving it all. Let's keep working together and keep making people happy. We'll both keep making money, da da da, and
yeah,
just keep going. And hopefully it'll stay that way. And they'll go back and forth. And but Kevin Feige has taken over all of Marvel from here on. Like, he is in charge of Marvel TV in the MCU, I believe comic books, everything Marvel.
so
He now is over
so
all of it
so he's the one going to be taking care of the universe on the Disney Channel,
on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
And like, he has all say so with any form of Marvel anything going forward. So like I said, comic books, I believe, any animated series, any series they put on ABC, on
Wow,
the Disney channels, Disney Plus, Hulu, things like that.
wow,
Has a say so in all of it. That is reportedly why,
well,
like, they had a Ghost Rider show getting ready to come out on, like, getting ready to start shooting for Hulu, and it got canceled because he got the promotion, I believe, and he pretty much wants to. There's a lot of rumor about, they got Blade, they got Moon Knight coming out.
yes,
They're getting ready to go like a darker side with the MCU. So there's a lot of, hearsay about, well, Kevin Feige wants him so he can bring Ghost Rider in with like Blade and Moon Knight and do some of these other, like the Spirits of Vengeance teams and things like that.
that sounds interesting.
And instead of having to bring in a different character and have one on Hulu, because everything from here on out, as far as TV shows, movies, everything like that, it's all going to be intertwined 100%. Like,
Ooh,
everything will
yay,
connect to each other. It will be one massive universe, period.
yay,
So if you start a show on like Hulu and you have a Ghost Rider show here with one character, then you bring in another Ghost Rider, and some people start watching this show, maybe,
yes.
then people are like, oh wait, that's not the Ghost Rider I wanted.
Well,
Like, what's going on? It might confuse people. Now,
yeah,
avid comic book readers and fans such as ourselves and many others absolutely know. Oh yeah, there's multiple characters of Ghost Rider. There's
is
multiple
there?
characters, this, that, everything.
Wow, that gives good feeling. One person controlling and leading the direction with all that. Because yes, I am an original fan of Wesley Snipes' Blade.
Oh yeah,
First movie
that movie
rocks.
was amazing, especially when it came out and I was a kid. Like, oh my god, that
That
movie
was
was awesome.
solid, very solid. Second one, third one, better than the second one, but that's all very to opinion. But Wesley Snipes actually wanted to reprise the role, but I don't think they're going with him though.
No, they're going with Mahershala Ali, who played Cottonmouth in the Luke Cage show,
Yes,
and he's going to be Blade. But I believe I read reports and stuff of Wesley Snipes being involved in some way.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I've heard rumors about he may be Dracula and all this other kind of stuff, and I'm like, well, that'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah, that would be a weird twist to the whole point and all that, but I like him to be involved. Definitely. He
And
is.
then, so yeah, you got Disney Plus comes out on November 12th, which I've already signed up for it. I'm already ready to go.
Okay, that's cool.
On there, they're going to have, as it's been announced many times already, a plethora of shows on Disney Plus that are directly connected part of the MCU and their big budget, like the first one you got coming is, I believe, sometime February or March or something like that. We'll have to do another one talking about this more in depth, like specifically these shows, where we'll have actual facts, people. Sorry. But again, this is the first episode of the podcast, so bear with us.
We got to flesh it out.
Yeah. So anyway, you got that. That's going to be the first show coming. The first show coming out is going to be the Winter Soldier Falcon show, and that comes out early 2020.
Well, as a quick question, just following up with the last movies, will Falcon's going to be the new Captain America?
As far as everybody knows, yes, and I believe that's what the show is going to be about. Is it going to be about him taking up the mantle and dealing with, I don't think I'm right to be Cap, things like that, and I think Bucky's going to be there to push him through, like, nah, you got to do it. He gave you the shield. He knows he wouldn't have given it to you unless
you were
he knew you could. Yeah, you were worthy to take the mantle.
Yeah.
And going through the whole thing, probably him being like, "You need to take it." And again, this is a wild speculation. Just I don't know. I'm waiting to see it. Like I'm dying for that show. But you got that. That comes out.
Okay.
And then I believe in fall of 2020, that's when we get WandaVision. And that's going to be about, her and Vision. Who knows if it's going to be her going more insane and her reality warping abilities are going to come out more and more, and she's going to bring it back to life, or it's an illusion. And you start going down the road of like the House of M version of Scarlet Witch.
And that's going to be a season series. Will it reprise the roles of the original actors?
Yeah, everybody who's played the actors has stayed those people at all these shows.
Oh, wonderful.
They are big budget shows that are directly connected. So you will be able, from what I've read and heard.
So we'll have Olsen back again.
So eventually you'll have a show or a movie where Falcon, Sam will come out as Captain America.
Yeah.
And people who don't watch the shows will remember, like, oh yeah, that's right, Captain America gave him the shield in Endgame, and he'll come out and be Captain America. But if you're into the shows and you watch them, you'll be able to see his struggle of how he, took the mantle and everything.
So that means Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh yeah, she is. Paul Bettany's gonna be Vision.
Wow.
So I don't know what all is gonna happen with this show and how it's gonna go, because she's also reportedly gonna be a huge part of Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh boy.
Like she has a heavy role in it.
I know that.
So if she's got she's got to become super powerful, the two of them probably jumping through the different variations of the multiverse. And so this is probably going to start showing her, from everything I've heard, read, rumors, all of that. It kind of just leads to saying, like, this is going to show her becoming more of Scarlet Witch instead of just Wanda Maximoff. She's got the powers, like, going to get into more of the magical powers and everything like she did in the comics, again, like I said, House of M, things like that, where she becomes this big, like, reality warping entity.
Wow.
At least that's where I believe it and hope it goes.
I have a lot more story to go with it. And
yeah, so then after that, I believe it's next March or something like that. That's when you get like the Loki show. That will be coming out. And actually, I think right after that, I believe, is What If comes out, the animated show, which pretty much is like like the old, like the comic book, the What If, and it's going to be based on, like, episodes are going to, at this time, I believe, are all based on all the movies they've already made. Like, what if this happened instead of this in Captain America, the First Avenger, which I believe that's one that they've already teased that I've seen, where it shows Haley Atwell reprising her role as Peggy Carter, and she becomes Captain Britain, and he never becomes Captain America.
That catches very big interest there. I could see that.
And then with, like the movies I said, so in 2020 we got Scarlet Witch coming out, and then or not Scarlet Witch, sorry, I apologize. Black Widow comes out at the beginning of in March or something like that of 2020, and then in November, I believe it is, we have the Eternals, which is going to be epic. I think, like really friggin' epic. That's going to be very interesting to me.
Standing just by itself, comic wise, wow.
Yeah, it's insane. Like it's great reading.
Okay,
It just I'm expecting from this movie to just give a lot of lore to the universe. You know what I mean? Just help explain a lot of things and the reason entities and all that kind of stuff exist. The Celestials. Hopefully, they get into creatures like the cosmic beings like infinity and eternity and everything like that. Galactus maybe.
So it sounds like the Marvel universe,
Yeah,
has
expansion
growing
exponentially. And then after that, you have, was it Shang-Chi comes out after that, the Master of Kung Fu fighting the Mandarin and the Ten Rings. And then after that, that's when you get Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness.
So plenty to look
And
forward
then
to.
after that, what the hell was it? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. It's either the next one after that, I believe the next movie is Thor, Love and Thunder.
Hmm. That should prove very, very fun.
hmm I'm again. Well, I'll wait to see till more details, everything comes out from it. But yeah, I'm kind of interested in that because I didn't mind the Jane Foster storyline of Thor, and that's what this is going into.
I enjoyed the comic
Yeah,
very much, very much. So, and now that they've changed her character in the comic, she is a Valkyrie.
something like that. I haven't caught up recently. Again, got a million things going
No.
on, but yeah, I gotta catch up on that.
So,
But speaking of Disney Plus,
yes.
so talking about the Marvel side of it. So again, I mentioned it comes out November 12th. And that same day, their first original show for Disney Plus drops on the same day, and it will be a weekly show, is The Mandalorian. Star Wars, The Mandalorian.
A weekly show?
They will be doing it weekly. So it comes out on the 12th of November, which is a Tuesday. So they will drop the second episode 3 days later on the 15th.
Okay.
And then every Friday after that, till I believe like December 27th or something like that. So I think the last episode comes out right after Star Wars Episode 9,
Oh, wow.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
So, but Mandalorian, I know I've shown you trailers, I've told you much about it, and it looks amazing to me. Like, the latest trailer and TV spots, it just looked crazy. So, it's about a Mandalorian. It's not Boba Fett, but it is about a Mandalorian, goes by the Mando, and pretty much it takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So I believe before the First Order is completely formed and everything in the timeline for Star Wars canon owned by Disney now. This is before I believe the First Order has gotten real organized and grown. The Resistance I don't believe exists yet. The Galactic Republic is rebuilding and figuring out what's going on. There's people who still support and are tied to the old empire.
That sounds like the universe and hierarchy and such is still in chaos.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's a time where the empire is dissolved 5 years ago. Remnants still exist. There's infighting everywhere. The New Republic is trying to rebuild itself, things like that.
Yeah, you still
And
got
this is following a bounty hunter who's running around doing whatever. I don't know exactly all the plot. I've honestly tried to hide myself from a bunch of it because I want to. You know how much I love Star Wars. I have it ink on my body. I'm wearing a Boba Fett shirt right now. Like, I love Star Wars. And I want to go into it just completely blind and just see the magnificence of it, because George Lucas worked on it. Dave Filoni, who did a lot of the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, and worked alongside George Lucas a lot when he still owned it, doing Clone Wars and everything. So he knows a lot of the lore. He's helped create a lot of the stuff and keep a lot of it.
It's how funny how
John Favreau is the one who created all of this and is, is directing a lot of it. And they've already been signed for season 2. It hasn't even come out yet.
Mhm. You're wishing to keep blind to it, so and actually I feel very blind to it. So this a lot of this information and everything else will be totally new canon for me to grasp and understand. I enjoy Star Wars.
I know you're much more of a Star Trek guy.
Yeah, and I can already hear the booze already. Already.
My people.
Well, I love both, but if I had a way to follow, would be Star Trek, but these last few films have not won me over. That's just uh it's to me Star Trek's gotta be just Shatner. Okay, yes, he is my idol.
So, like,
But anyway,
well, okay, yeah, back to
back to
the Mandalorian. So I again am extremely excited for this. Like, if anybody's listening to this and you guys haven't signed up for Disney Plus yet, I recommend doing it. You can sign up right now. You get a free week. And then it will kick in, and you can buy a year, which is only like $70 or $6.99 a month. And again, you get your first week, so you can cancel. It even tells you on there, like, if you sign up right now, it'll go into effect starting November 12th, the first day it drops. And it will tell you, like, if you do not want to be charged for this subscription, cancel by like October 19th or something, or before October 19th. You get a 1 week trial, and then you won't be charged until then. But, dude, I mean,
it's on
take the free trial and try it. See what happens, because there's going to be a ton of crap on there, man. Um, and so, again, yes, extremely excited for that. Comes out the 12th. It is a weekly show, and I think they're kind of smart about that, because then, that's how they get their subscriptions and keep people, because you want to see it, everything's coming out week by week, so you're like, damn, I got to stay there.
they don't want you to go into
I'm going to binge all this in a day, and I'm going to cancel after that.
yeah. Seems to be a smarter play, and weekly TV shows has their point. It's a kind of a retro back into the past once again.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of streaming services seem like they're getting ready to do that. I believe, like, Netflix has announced they're probably going to start going that way, which I think is going to piss a lot of people off, because Netflix has always been like, oh, binge all of it at once, and now we're going to, we're going to give you weekly episodes. But I mean, it is what it is. It's times are changing. That's the way you got to go to stay competitive and all that.
Very much, very much.
But anyway, so yeah, Mandalorian looks great now on Disney Plus. They're going to do another season of the Clone Wars, and I believe they're going to have all seasons of it on there.
Animated or
Yeah, the animated show.
okay.
And that gives you a lot of lore and stuff too. And sometimes, especially loving the originals and having some grudges against the prequels for a while in my life, now I'm not so harsh on them, but also I'm not so harsh on the like the sequel trilogies. I've got my things that I'll get into on here at some point. Like, I've got little details that I'm like grumbly about, but all in all, I'm not extremely angry about all of it. But the Clone Wars show, that looks interesting. And like I said, if you haven't seen it, go through it. Yeah, by the third season, it starts getting really interesting, and like a lot of lore, crazy stuff going on. And but before that, it can be a tough sit through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you don't care for like Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars too much.
Yeah,
But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, so they're gonna have that on there. The only other show for Star Wars on Disney Plus that they've announced, and I don't believe they'll start shooting till sometime in like summer of 2020, is they're going to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus show with Ewan McGregor reprising his role as Obi-Wan.
Yay.
And I believe from things I've read, it's supposed to take place when maybe when Luke is 8 years old or something like that. I'm not sure what all is gonna. I know he's been very tight-lipped about it. Like he can't say anything. They're not leaking anything, and but he has come out to say it'll be interesting to play. I think it's gonna be fun because I get to play Obi-Wan where he's going through all this trauma after his apprentice and his brother slaughtered all of the Jedi. Everybody's dead. He's one of the last few.
Yes.
And just coping with all of that, pretty much essentially his entire family was wiped out of the galaxy. Are either lost, broken, have turned to the dark side. If you read the comics, which are all part of the canon and everything too. But getting into I think that'll be very, very good. But
I can hold some interest for that.
getting into more Star Wars stuff. So episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. I just showed you the final trailer just a few moments ago.
Yes, people.
Of it, and
it's been out for a week or more, and I just got to it.
Yeah. So to me, a lot of that looks amazing. There's some of it I'm like, huh. The whole. What I thought was kind of cool was them riding horseback on. Looks like they're riding horseback on top of a Star Destroyer. In a battle or something, which I'm real interested to be are they in atmosphere? What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff in there that I'm just wow, maybe we'll try to do a breakdown of some of that at some point, give our theories and
what little pieces
stuff, but
the Star Destroyer coming out of the ocean type,
the ice,
whatever, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Hearing the laughing sounds of Palpatine.
Yeah, oh my God. If you watch the end, Rey is looking up, and you see a figure looks like sitting in a chair above her or something. It's got a black cloak on or something like that. Yeah. I swear to God, that's Palpatine, man. Oh my God, I cannot wait.
You think it's truly him or
I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. I know, if you read the comics, which again are canon, and I know I've heard a lot of people grumble about, the average viewer of the movie doesn't know what any of that is.
I've got a guess.
But if you read a lot of the comics, a lot of the Vader comics and everything, especially, they give you a lot of lore on the Sith and everything that's going on with Palpatine and Vader and all that stuff. And they show, Lord Mammon, who is possessing a helmet with his dark side energy, the remnants of him, what's left of him, because again, and I believe it's still this way in Disney canon, but it's always been on the light side. When you die, if you're enlightened enough, you've sacrificed yourself, things like that, you can become a Force ghost, like we've seen with the likes of, for anybody who's actually just watched the movies, just period the movies, you got Yoda, Anakin came back at the end of Return of the Jedi. Now, if you've seen the original one, so you got the original player of Anakin, and if you've never seen any of the original theatrical cuts, then all you see is Hayden Christensen playing the young Anakin show up there at the end of Return of the Jedi. But we also seen Yoda in The Last Jedi. But if you watch Clone Wars, all that kind of stuff, and read comics and books and all that, and I believe Luke will be one in episode 9, which with the movies you will see him definitely, because you hear a ton of him. Yeah, but you've got Qui-Gon Jinn has come back, and many others. So
that's still something that irks me so much.
So again, we will discuss that at some point on a different topic, because I do have a lot of things to say about the way Luke was handled in this new sequel trilogy. Yeah, I've got some issues with some stuff, but we'll discuss that at a later date. Getting back to episode 9. So, I don't know exactly what's going on, but if you watch the previous trailer for this, you get a picture of C-3PO with bright red eyes, right?
Yes.
And then this one, he's got something going on with his brain and everything, and he's like, looking at my friends like one last time or whatever.
Like he's
Like something's going on, and if you pay attention, like if you slow the still, which I've seen, I've watched a ton of reaction videos on this, and I've done it too. You got an old battle droid from the prequels here, like in over to the right side of the screen, hanging up right there. And there's a lot of theories, and this would be amazing to me if like C-3PO, like if you watch the Han Solo movie, you remember Lando's droid? She plugs herself into the Falcon. That's how it gets the great navigation system.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of theories like maybe he's doing that and he's plugging into something and he's like resurrecting the droid army from the prequels or something because they need. If you also watch that video and any of the other trailers, you just see these fleets of Star Destroyers everywhere. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
So I don't know, man. This to me, it's gonna be epic, I think, and I'm hoping they bring back some resemblance of Obi-Wan in this and Anakin, to tie it all around because forever George Lucas has always stated like the story is about Anakin Skywalker through and through. The original trilogy, the prequels, and in the way he was writing all of it, it is still all about, which they didn't use his drafts of the scripts or anything, but he's always said, like, all of this whole saga right here, this is all about Anakin Skywalker. Period. It is all about Anakin. So if he's the chosen one and he brought balance to the Force before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was his destiny, right? From the original trilogies, you got told that in the prequels, all that. And he did it in Return of the Jedi. He turned back from Vader into Anakin and he saved his son and kills Palpatine. Effectively, and he's no longer Vader, and then he dies anyway, so effectively destroying the Sith, fulfilling his prophecy. So, if Palpatine is back and is not dead, then he has not fulfilled the prophecy, right?
Oh.
So, could there be something in this movie where Anakin actually does have to come back in some form and way, maybe give his power to Kylo Ren or Rey? And like, I just want some answers on who she is. And, there's just so much I want answers to. And again, I'll get with my frustrations on all that. And we'll just do another video or another podcast where we talk a lot about what they call Legends now, which was originally known as the Star Wars EU Extended Universe, and I had read the crap out of comics and novels throughout all of that. The damn it, I'm not gonna be able to say it right now. The Yuuzhan Vong, even getting into Abeloth and like the return of Palpatine before all that. This is all stuff you're looking across from me like I have no idea what any of that means.
I have no earthly clue. None at all. But I'm learning.
Jason Solo becomes Darth Kaitis. Yeah, I mean, that stuff was epic. It was amazing. And so, we'll discuss a lot more of that in another one. But yeah, so, Star Wars, man. I cannot wait.
I agree. I'll look forward to seeing it.
So let's sum this up real quick. So DCEU, looking forward. We got to go see the Joker. Looking forward to that. Really unsure where they're going with that. I'm actually pretty excited to see that new Batman movie and the Birds of Prey and stuff like that. We'll get into some of those topics on a different podcast. With the MCU and Disney Plus, I am foaming at the mouth for what's
what could pop out.
Just waiting for all this stuff. Then with again Disney Plus and Star Wars and the Mandalorian, I am dying for that, which comes out here in like 2 or 3 weeks from when we're recording this. And then Episode 9 comes out December 20th, and we will be getting our tickets for that soon, sir, so we can go see that and do our review for that.
Sounds great.
So we will be there before opening night.
Yes.
Anyway, so if you guys enjoyed this, you guys are listening to this and like what we have to say, let us know. Comment down below and let us know your thoughts, feelings on any of these topics, anything else you'd like us to discuss on a future podcast. Let us know what you think. If you're enjoying it, give us a like. Please give us a like. It will definitely help out our channel. If you like anything we're throwing up on any of the channels, especially here on Legend from the Tabletop, please give us a subscribe and give us a subscribe. Hit the subscribe button on Legend from the Console. Tap those notification bells so you can stay up to date with everything we are throwing down. And until next time, I am Joe.
I'm Lindsey. Roll hard.